Hello, I'm Ariana Hunter, real estate broker and financial expert. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about mobile homes. Being that we are in this situation, many people in the crisis we are living today, many people may consider that an option. May consider buying land or buying a mobile home and moving to inland. So today we're going to be talking with Ms. Lemos here, who's going to tell us more about the financing, because it is a little different and a lot different, right? A lot of different than the real estate. So let's get started. What is the difference? Tell us more.
Basically, it's like buying anything else that you would buy. There's a lot of research and time. It is not. A lot of people will consider, kind of a fast transaction, but it's like any other transaction, any other home transaction that you would experience. So let's start with the basics. So what are the options? You can go new, and in that case, you will go to a dealership, a lot, and then they would have all the model homes, and that's one option. Or you could buy directly from someone else, maybe an older model. Or there's also a third option, which is not very common, and that is a repossessed one. Repos or clearance mobile homes. But basically, everyone says, okay, well, I want to go buy one. So, okay, so how are you going to finance it? Okay. Very much like buying a home or any other home, they do run credit. As far as the new mobile homes dealerships go,
What is the credit score they have to have?
I believe it's a 575 is the minimum to start with your financing.
Okay.
And depending on where you go, a lot of them will tell you, we have financing options, which is true, but most of them go through one bank. Most of them use 21st.
So you don't have a lot of options?
Not a lot of options.
Is 21st nationwide?
It is nationwide, and that is the one that is most commonly used. The other thing is, when considering financing your mobile home, is the land. A lot of people will ask you, okay, great, you want to go buy one, great. Then they're going to ask you, okay, do you have the land? Usually, most people already have their plot of land, but a lot of people will lease their land. You can lease your land. Now, in that case, that makes it a little bit harder for your financing, because what they usually do is they want to take the land as collateral for your loan, for your mobile home.
So if they don't own their land?
So if you don't own your land,
what do they do?
Well, that's just an obstacle. Either you're going to have to go own the land, see about if someone's giving you the land, get it gifted to you.
Or if you can rent it?
You could rent it, but that might not be an option for you to finance your mobile home. So in that case...
So meaning that they have to own their mobile home, but if they want to...
you would have to have like a paid off one. So that was the second option, going and buying it used from someone else, like through OfferUp or Craigslist, and just buying it cash that way. Okay. So that's one thing that deters people from buying new, because sometimes they don't have the land. Another option that they might give you when you do go look at a new one is some places want to offer you 1 acre plus a home.
Oh, really?
So that's another option.
What is that called?
To be honest, I don't have the name for that, but it just depends on the vendor that you're going to go to. Some of them
so the vendor will find you land?
Depends. Sometimes you could have mobile home parks, and then this is going to be a community. So they're going to sell you your mobile home, your new one, plus that plot of land, which is usually about, I want to say 1 acre, but some are less than that. And then in that case, they're like a developer like any other one, and they're just selling you that plot, that area. So usually...
Is there one loan? The land and the mobile?
No, it's separate, but you pay it together. It's two different things, but you just pay them together. So sometimes you will see, it'll say, and this is an average cost. So land will be about $45 to $50, and then the mobile home $350. But you add those together, and that doesn't include your utilities.
So who once you submit your payment, they split it?
Yes, it goes into an escrow and it gets split up. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing, speaking of utilities, water, light, another thing to consider is when you go to a new, like a new dealership, mobile home dealership, they're going to ask you, does the land have water and does it have electricity connections? Now, that is another cost that you need to consider when considering mobile home as an option.
How much are they?
It varies. It varies for home. It varies.
Like to start, so we give them
an average cost. You have to consider septic. If does your land have septic? Are you going to need a septic tank? How big does it need to be? How many people you're going to have? So all those things are things to consider. I would say a good start about $1,000. But if you know somebody, it could vary. They might give you a deal on it, but that's a good estimate, about $1,000 for your septic. Now your light, do you need to have a light post put in? You could do it yourself. You could save money there.
How much is a light?
Depends on
what is so
about 600.
600?
About 600.
That's not bad.
Then you have to consider having the wiring. Is it going to come from a central? Is there already a home on there? Or are you going to run your own meter? That's something you talked about, your electricity company having them come and put a meter for you.
So
those are things to consider.
Who does this list? Is something that you have to create your own list and check those things off?
Well, that's something that you have to have on site, because they could put the home there, but you will not have running water. You will not have electricity.
So
you have to have those
financiers.
And the bank does want to know that you're going to have those things.
Do they provide contractors?
No, they do not provide contractors. Those you can find on your own. Well, it depends. As far as light and water, no, they do not. Now, another thing to consider is you have to transport your home.
Wow.
From location, from the dealership to location. Now, some places that's included. If it's a new home, it's going to be included transportation. And then another thing to consider is, okay, once you have it from the dealership to your home, it needs to be leveled. It needs to be tied down. It's optional if you want to have a skirt around it, which is just going to hide the bricks and all that stuff.
So talking about the tying down, do that means that tying down means that they have to pay taxes?
Well, it depends. That's another thing. It varies from state to state. When you are looking, there's no real different. For mobile homes, there's no real set, I would say, law, I guess. You could have a purchase of sale, or you could have a transfer of title.
But that's for the ownership of it.
And that's for the ownership, but that also affects the taxes.
Okay.
So say that.
So if it's personal, you wouldn't be paying taxes unless you have owned the land, and then you actually be paying on the land. And since it is not tied down to the land, right, because it's on bricks, then it was a personal. It wouldn't be considered.
No, so it would just be property tax. But now, the moment that the home becomes attached to the land, it'll be considered like an upgrade to the land, and in that case, you will be paying taxes on it. But it doesn't have a definition as far as as far as that. But some people do. Like I said, I believe it's mostly on how they transfer the title of the property. So if I purchase it through somebody, and
who do they go to if they want to buy a mobile home themselves? I mean, do they usually? From what I've seen, going to the dealership is super expensive.
It is very expensive. It is very much like buying a home, a car, a home. Your credit score needs to meet the requirements.
So they run your credit.
They do run your credit. It is a hard inquiry because you are trying to finance a home, regardless of it being pre-manufactured or not.
So do you have a real estate agent represent
It's not a real estate agent. This is a salespeople, and some do make commission off of it. Some are paid hourly. It just depends where you go. But
so take it upon yourself. You really have to research.
You really do have to research. And a lot of people consider, mobile home is easier. It's actually a lot of work.
So either you pay up front or you pay at the end. But because you're going to do it in phases?
Yeah. Well, that's okay. So now here's the option of, if you're going to go and buy one, I'm going to buy one from her. She's going to buy one from me. Direct, if you offer up Craigslist, any of those things. In that case, people could do, I've seen a lot of rent to own. So in that case, they're asking for a large down payment. And then, you can give them a down payment and then finish off paying the rest, or you could pay cash all at once. And in that case, you are responsible for transporting, tying it down, all those things. They don't care where it goes. They're not, that's not a concern.
So fixer-uppers, can they do it, tackle it just like a home?
You can. The other thing you want to consider is running water, light, all those things.
The walls and all that?
Home, it is very much like that. You can get one that is completely gutted out, which means you could take everything out and redo the walls and put in tile and put in carpet and paint it and do all kinds of stuff to it. And you can even, expand on it and build on it.
Okay, well, that's a lot of information. If you want more information and have questions on mobile homes and financing, you could reach her through Ben Daly. midday financial professionals and set up a consultation with her. It runs between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on what you need. In that way, she will help you clarify. It's over the phone. She will help you clarify those questions for you. Well, I hope this has helped you. Till
Oh,
next time.
and one
Oh,
other
yes.
thing, we're gonna have a second segment because there is options to pay on the lot. Is that something that you want to do? Like anything else, like they said, you know, sometimes we run credit and
So
things
we're
like
gonna
that.
do the video. We're gonna do that video
Yeah.
right now
Okay.
coming up. So stay tuned.